Hey guys, how's it going? So, if you've ever dedicated any of your precious time to watching Yo-Yo Freestyle after Yo-Yo Freestyle, every now and then you might see a yo-yo player wearing gloves. But apart from paying tribute to Mickey Mouse and looking like a competitive pool player, why do yo-yo players wear gloves, and do they really make a difference? Well, in my 6 years of yo-yoing history, I've competed with and without gloves, and the result has usually been, a couple of different things here and there, but considering I've used them both, let's kind of discuss the pros and cons I've found. So the biggest pro to wearing gloves is that they protect your hands. If you've ever tried practicing for upwards of an hour, you've probably experienced this sensation. After a while, your hands start to get sweaty. Once your hands get sweaty, the string starts to get grimy. Once the string gets grimy, it's really difficult to maneuver the yo-yo because the string constantly sticks to your hands and probably pulls off chunks of skin while it's at it. That's what is called string burn. At this point, the players who want to preserve their ambitions of hand modeling will probably start to wear gloves. But seriously speaking, gloves provide a barrier which provides protection for your hands, and because it's a cloth material there, whether it be nylon, cotton, whatever it is, it allows the string to slide freely again, so you can practice for longer without the yo-yo seizing up on you, or the string seizing up on you, and you can also protect your hands from any of the nasty burns that you would get upwards of an hour while playing with your yo-yo. So one of the main reasons why I use gloves now is because before I get up on stage, I'm usually pretty nervous, and when I'm nervous, my hands start to sweat. So the reason I put on gloves is because I'm a relatively fast player with simplistic tricks. If my hands are sweaty, most of my tricks just don't work very well and the accuracy goes down. So for that reason, and that reason pretty much alone, that's why I use gloves. Second benefit to gloves, they allow you to play faster. Ever wonder why most of the insanely fast yo-yo players use gloves? Think Iori Yamaki, Priscilla Chia, Hiroki Suzuki, etc, etc. Well, think about it. If sweat can no longer slow you down, and your hand is now immune to any string burn, string chafing, etc, etc, you can really start to crank up the speed. Final benefit, gloves can prolong the life of your string. So the main thing that contributes to string wear and tear is basically when your hands get sweaty. After your hands get sweaty, the string starts to attract dust, moisture, all this bad stuff, and it really wears out the string really quickly. If you put on gloves, the string is still going through all the same motions, the trapeze, the double or nothing, all the combos that you're doing, but without the added sweat, moisture, and grit that it's going to absorb from your hands, they last a considerable amount longer. So if I were to use a string non-stop, no gloves, it'd probably last about a week. If I were to use gloves only with that string primarily, it'd last probably 2 days longer. It's not an insane amount, but it's something I've noticed. So those are pretty much all the benefits to gloves. They protect your hands, they allow you to play faster, and they prolong the string life. Those are some pretty cool benefits, but if that was the only side of the story, every single player would use gloves. So what are some of the cons? The main con, and this is probably the main reason why not every player uses gloves, is because it eliminates some of the feedback. So when you wear gloves, you kind of can't feel the string as well as your bare hands, right? Now, for players with simplistic fast tricks, this is really cool. You can go really, really fast and not feel the string burn that's probably happening to you if you weren't wearing gloves. However, if your style isn't really based on any of those kind of extreme style tricks and relies more on intricate, complex textile tricks, then eliminating the feedback, messing up some of the pitches in some of the areas, that might be really annoying to you, and because of the eliminated feedback, it might actually decrease your accuracy. Personally, I don't have this problem because mainly my tricks are relatively simplistic, which means that, I don't really have to worry about too much of, the technical side. But this is the main reason why not every yo-yo player uses gloves. It eliminates the feedback and therefore makes complex tricks more difficult. Gloves also make it difficult to undo knots. Period. Like every single knot. Axle knots, knots in your strings, just general knots. They're bad, okay? Have you ever tried to unpick a knot with a glove on? It's very difficult. So what you have to do is you have to take off the glove, and then you have to undo the knot, then you have to put the gloves back on, and it's... Okay, yes, I am lazy, but that is probably the main reason why I stopped using gloves. Okay, so... yeah, that's totally making it into this video. So let's put this in simplistic terms. If your style is simplistic, fast, and puts a lot of stress on the yo-yo, your hands, your string, you should definitely try gloves. That will definitely improve your game. Try it out. If you don't like it, hey, you've lost like, what, $3 buying a set of gloves. If your style isn't too stressful and kind of relies more on complex tech elements, maybe gloves probably won't be for you, okay? Think Takeshi Matsura and Zach Gormley. Now, one thing to mention, Takeshi actually used to use gloves. I think he still uses them for 5A. But considering his style shift in 2014, where he basically leapfrogged up to like a new level of tech, gloves were no longer beneficial for him, so if you ever watch any of his 1A these days, he doesn't use gloves. Keep in mind, these are all just generalizations. There are plenty of fast players that don't use gloves, and there are plenty of technical players that do use gloves, okay? At the end of the day, it does come down to preference. The only reason I mentioned that was to kind of give you guys a rule of thumb. Basically, my opinion of gloves is that they are great, okay? They can protect your hands and they can make you speed up. It's really, really cool. If I was you, regardless of what style you have, I would try them, okay? They're not that expensive. You can get them at most of the generic yo-yoing stores, Yo-Yo Expert, Yo-Yo Rewind, etc., etc. So, I would get them. If you don't like them, don't use them. You've only lost about $3. Okay, so those are my thoughts on gloves, okay? So, if you ever see, a kid on YouTube that happens to be commenting on somebody's yo-yo freestyle, saying that gloves look lame, they look like Mickey Mouse, they look like he's trying to imitate Michael Jackson, you go ahead and, okay, you probably won't be able to link them this video because your comment will be marked as spam, but just tell them why yo-yo players use gloves, because that is a really common question I've seen on other YouTube videos, and I seriously wanted to eliminate that. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Get a pair of gloves. I recommend it. Anyway, see you guys next time.